So there it is in 3, 2, 1, pills, our second semifinal coming right to you.
And as a reminder, this is a best of 5 matches as we get underway here. Influx with not a lot of red access to the top, but he is already working on opening some of that up, making some really nice plays to get down to that center of his board. Meanwhile, Packy, 38 viruses remaining for him. Um, Pretty diverse board here, pretty diverse top line. Looking to get a little bit more yellow access, though, Ook.
Yeah, and all these double yellows that Pack is getting are really not helpful for that because they're just making it impossible for him to get any more access to yellows. But his just slam it down style is really working its magic. As you can see, he's keeping a very flat top line, even more so than Influx, who, while he has been keeping his top line fairly flat, still has a few floaty viruses, and he's going to have to decide which ones he's going to go at first to try to reduce his drop time by as much as possible.
Yeah, and he's gonna need a lot of red, but I love the setup that he's got here in his column 3. We're gonna see it fire it off right now. Beautiful, beautiful play there for Influx to get several viruses taken off of that board. Now he's only needing red. Gonna need a lot of red help from the doctor to get out of this. Meanwhile, Packy also needing red, but he only needs two and gets it in the form of a double red. Out at a 135, he's gonna be out first. Influx, though, 5 seconds behind, gets his final red at a 140. It's very close here.
Yeah, there's just absolutely there's no real difference here. That's practically a dead heat. But everything looking so far so good on the top of Packy's top line, with the exception of the fact that, again, he's lacking access to his yellows, is working to get down to those is Packy. And Influx really not a lot of access to yellow either, as he's got this barge of red at the top. This double red going to be helpful. Oh, and he
Oh.
slides it over. I don't think that's no, I can't imagine that's where he wanted it, although it is gonna work out for him. It might have been in the plans, just seemed a little scary.
Yeah, I knowing Influx's style, I don't think that was
Probably was.
intentional because he did have the reds underneath, but Influx is one that doesn't like to take a lot of drop time. So, it's really kind of hard to say, but I almost think it wasn't intentional. But as it stands, it is now Packy with a 5 virus lead over Influx. Influx did wait to fire that big combo off, and it did cost him a little bit of time. Packy, gonna need again mostly red to get through this board. He's down to just 2 blues and 1 yellow remaining, and that 1 blue covered underneath these reds, but he does get the reds he need to open that up. Just gonna be a few more reds and 1 more yellow. He'll be out. Meanwhile, Influx looking for blues and yellows. This blue, double blue, gonna be perfect for him though. Opens up the horizontal for that yellow.
And Pack showing again just his absolute disdain for how much drop time it takes if it can't be helped. Gets out at a 331 with plays that some other players would not take because of the drop time, but it turns out, he's focused on his pill efficiencies and everything worked out as Influx joins him now to 346. So Pack making a little bit more time at the through that level 11,
Yes.
but he knows he's going to have to keep his foot on the gas if he's going to keep going here, and also get some access to yellow again.
Yeah, and it's still very close here. Looking at Influx's board, his board is fairly diverse. Really, not too much to complain about. Maybe except for the lack of red access at the top. In fact, he has only well now he has more red more red access than he had a moment ago. So Influx doing a great job to keep that board going, keep it open up some diversity. It is 33 now for Influx, 24 for Packy. And as I look over at his board, gosh, that's a lot of blue that he needs, Zook.
Yeah, it's been kind of the story of this entire run so far, as he gets a great drop cross there, that Pack has not had a lot of access to yellow, less of red, and has just needed A lot of blue to get things going. Meanwhile, if we look over at Influx's board, that is very clustered over in the bottom left of his board. He has taken a virus lead here, but with everything as compressed as it is, it really just depends on what the pills show up, whether he'll be able to get access to everything quickly. Uh, Pack again showing that that is the case as he has taken the virus lead. Now it's tied back up. These two just going back and forth as you would expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Wondering if Packy's going to set up for this horizontal.
Yep.
He does, slightly different than I thought he was going to go for, but still a really great play. And actually, it was probably the way he did it was probably better than what I was thinking. So just one more red for Packy. And Packy got the blue that Influx needed, and Influx is getting the reds that Packy needed. But 549 for Influx and 550 for Packy as we go into our final level of this first game. Very close. It's just going to come down to who gets their pills first for this first game.
And Influx with two immediate misdrops, putting that double blue on top of the paired yellows, and he had another one over on the right hand side that did not last too long before he cleared it up. So not a massive struggle, but it's like I always like to say, misdrops do breed, and Influx was the unfortunate recipient of a pair of them there. But so far has kept the level advancing, but that has given Paki enough time to take a small lead now, about 10 viruses.
Yeah, and a nice little fat log there on Packy's board. The main issue for Packy now is there's he has no yellow access whatsoever. Having to use those yellows to create creative garbage. A double red here would be really great for him as he's got two vertical drops set up underneath. You might see him go ahead and just manufacture this. Still, a double red would be best for him, but yep, he's gonna go ahead and sacrifice that blue, which really isn't a sacrifice at all because it wasn't helpful at all, and fires off this massive combo, brings him down to now 11 viruses remaining. Looking pretty good for Packy here, but peek over at Influx, needing a lot of red and a lot of yellow to get down to the nitty gritty of this end game.
Yeah, it was starting to look really nice for him, and then the yellows have been the real pain point for him. Meanwhile, as Packy is almost done with this one, he just needs one more blue, and out of the 747 is Pack. He is going to take game number one in pretty convincing fashion by the time it was all said and done, especially considering how close things were earlier on. Check out this combo though from Influx. He's going to get everything cleared out of the way and get access to that yellow 809. I mean, that's the sort of times I was getting an 8 to 11. So I have no room to suggest that was anything but an amazing run that would have been solid for just about any other player other than these top players that we've got.
Absolutely. Packy just hopping on a flight on Southwest and just flying through that with a 747. But both great times again. Influx 809. That's a really nice time here for this level block. If they keep playing like this, then this game two could be even wilder. And we have readies, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pills as we go into game two of this best of five. Influx looking to turn that into a best of three. Looking at these boards, both are really kind of interesting. Packy has his board kind of, it's not really split, but it was almost like a trident almost on his board. Is really interesting to see where Influx, you look over at his board and it's a little bit more compact there in the top line. But look at this, his once he clears out these yellows in his column 8, that's going to be completely empty.
Yeah, I want to look at Influx's board, but I've been so entranced by what Pack has been. It's almost you almost want to say what he's been gifted. It is now finally slowing down on him, but the top of his board just melted away as he had combo after combo pulling up. Got the right pills for it, but you can't talk about a player getting the right pills and not say something about the fact that you have to do something with them once you get them. So, yes, it was good RNG, but man, oh man, Pack really showed that he knows what to do with that RNG.
Yeah, absolutely. And quick disclaimer, the DRMC is not sponsored by Southwest Airlines. As we continue, Influx needing a lot of red, a lot of yellow to get down through this board, but he's getting what he needs, except for these blues. But looking pretty good here for Influx. But Packy now just with now 6 viruses remaining, wondering if he's gonna wait to set up this really long fat log at the bottom of the board. Don't know if it's the right decision, and he is now signaling that he is not going to do that, but he is going to set up for the long horizontal and sets up another drop horizontal anyway. Great play by Packy. Ooh, a nice horizontal by Influx, and he's going to horizontal out and be first. Actually, they're both going to be out right at a 159.
Yeah, this is a good comeback there from Influx after a phenomenal top of the board from Pack. Now we are looking at, I would say, two fairly similar top lines, although Influx without a lot of access to red and all the blues that he's getting, he would love to make this cross or this L clear rather, and may be willing to sacrifice a little bit to get it. Nope, there comes the double blue that he needed, and now Influx down his board, not a lot of access to blue.
Yeah, not much access to blue for Influx. He does have a couple opened up now, but looking at Packy's board, not a lot of access to yellow for him. And I like the decision there to go ahead and clear out the garbage in his column 3. That wasn't really garbage. He was trying to set up for a horizontal, but maintaining the yellow axis that he had further down was the reason he went for that. And it was a really nice play. Now, Influx with a slight lead over Packy of about 4 viruses. Packy would really love to get some yellows to drop this down. A double yellow or a yellow blue would be absolutely fantastic for him. We'll see if that pops up. Well, now really any yellow is going to be great for him.
Yeah, and I really like this setup as uh, he's got an opportunity here in a second. Oh, there comes that
Oh,
opportunity to take this as a cross. Man, Vac is an end game master. If I always say if there's somebody that you want to if there's somebody out there that wants to work in their end games, he's the person you want to keep an eye on as he's really showcasing that. That's where I learned my end games. No offense, Pack, because they're not always great, but he's out at about a 355.
yeah, no, Influx with another really nice drop combo to clear out his board, out at about a 403 for him. And looking at his board, I like it. There's a spot for just about every pill, which is exactly what you want to see in these early game situations. He's not having to make a ton of garbage until just now with those yellows, but he's going to be able to open up some yellow access right now with these blue yellows. And you see him actually setting up for this horizontal red. He gets the double red that he needs. Drops a massive combo all over the board, actually. Gets him down to 40.
Yeah, Pack still with a small lead though, as he has gotten himself into a heavy red situation, is getting through it just it's gonna be a struggle, but a double red here would be absolutely vital for him. Looks like he is willing to do something else, and yeah, I can't say I blame him there. Influx now looking at this spire over on 4 that he just cleared, so never mind that. Uh, he would like to see. Oh man, there's a combo brewing here. There it goes, and man, yeah, it's starting to make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Not
Influx have
able to
been
do it
working
without garbage.
Influx had been working on some of that for a while now, and finally able to get fired off. And as it stands now, it's a 2 virus game. Packy needing, gosh, a lot of red help to get out of this and get down to his bottom board. But I love that horizontal. Did not even see that Really great play there by Packy. 9 viruses for Packy, 9 viruses for Influx. Who's going to get their pills first? Influx now setting up another big combo. He would love to take these yellows out horizontally, but he's going to have to clear out this blue garbage to do it. And meanwhile, Packy just needing one more red. And there it is, out at a 606. And Influx now has that horizontal combo that he was looking for, now needing 2 reds. There's one. Where is the other one? There it is. Out at and an early pause, 6:18, about a 12-second difference between our players as we go into the final level.
Not an early pause, just a pause buffer. You know, it affects the RNG not at all. Um, for those who don't know, the RNG for this game is predetermined once you hit start. Which level you're going to get, what the pill sequence is, that's all predetermined. There's really nothing you can do about it once you've pressed start on the level block. So, uh, where we were was set in motion so long ago, and I got to think Influx is pretty happy with where he is right now, taking a 5 virus lead as Pack is covered in yellow and really needs to get some.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, he does manage to get some yellow there, open up his board a little bit. He's now only 2 viruses behind Influx. Influx, as you were talking, was in need of a lot of blue. Unfortunately for him, got the blue that he needed, and it allowed him to not get stymied by the RNG, which aside from being set in stone from when you press start, is also gosh awful in this game sometimes. But it's working out for Influx right now, down to 17, a 4 virus lead over Packy, who really, really desperately needs some red help here, Ook.
Yeah, I mean, this is really close, but Influx with the better board health, although he is going to have to figure out the very top of that column one, that could
Oh,
end up being okay, yeah. That the first one, oh, the first
that
thing over
one.
on Pack side, that could have been worked through, but now the second one and then the third, all those misdrops really going to hurt him and probably going to be if he wasn't already going to drop this one, that was going to be the thing that did it.
Yeah. Packy's play giving birth to triplets here, unfortunately for him, in the form of misdrops. And it is going to be Influx taking the game at an 8:31.
Yeah, I mean, Influx was looking like that was going to be his anyway. It was a solid play from him and a good 13, but uh, Pack really did not help his case at all with those misdrops. You hate to see it.
I love to see this combo fire off
Give him
for
a red
Packy.
yellow
If
game.
he, yeah, he just needs the red yellow. There it is. Now just needing the final blue, 903. He's not thrilled about it. He knows those misdrops really hurt him.
Yeah, that was painful. But this happens, and our best of five is now down to a best of three, and that means that we get a little more Dr. Mario going. No sweep's going to happen here in this level block today, except
Absolutely,
for
and
the
we
one
do.
we already saw.
Yeah, and we do have readies from both players and our 3, 2, 1 pills, and we are off into game 3 as Packy gets out of the gate a second before Influx. And a pretty good board here for Packy. There's a place for just about everything. Not a lot of red access though, as he has started to open up this board a little bit, but that's not going to be the case for too much longer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Influx looking over at his board, it at times it has been in the same position. Oh, that extra stand up though, that's not going to be
Ooh.
what he wants to see. So that's going to take a little bit of getting rid of. Luckily for him, getting a double red blitz, that means that it's going to end in a red yellow. We saw that. Um, that's gonna help him out. But we saw that happen in the last game, and look at this combo that's gonna create. Influx, of course, one of our a really solid versus player as well. So unsurprising to see him turn a bit of garbage into a combo.
Yeah, Influx, the winner of the Kansas City Regional, just over a year ago, actually, and just showing why he is so good at the game in general, being able to get out of those tough situations with plays like that. But meanwhile, it is still Packy with a 3 virus lead. Packy, though, only needing yellow to get down to the bottom of this board. And as that being the case, Influx now back in the lead by 3 viruses. Packy has managed to open up that board a little bit. Love the decision there to go ahead and put that double yellow in column 8 to start to open up the blue access. But Influx just needing these 2 reds and one more, and he will be out at a 154.
Yeah, this has been a tough end game for Pack. Is gonna get some things worked out here. Unfortunately, placing that red on top means that he's got to fill in the space below first, and now out at a 214. So not the time he was looking for, but so far it is working out for him as Influx going to make a combo here, but again, stacked yellow on top over on that right-hand side. He's going to get it out of the way with ease, but again, just it cost him some pill halves, and not something you're terribly keen to do when Pack's the person on the other side, especially coming off a fresh loss and able to make combos like that one. That was huge.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned for Influx with that Spire on 8, especially on high speed. Sometimes, for whatever reason, it's a lot harder to move right in this game than it is to the left. Fortunately, it was early enough for Influx that he was able to get that over there. But if he hadn't been able to, or had, or had, heaven forbid, misdropped it, that would have been a serious issue for Influx. But as it stands now, he's already down to just fixing to be 8 viruses here. Influx just blazing through this level 11, giving it business, and he's saying, "Hey, Pack, if you want to stop me, then you better do it because I'm here to win it for the third time in a row."
Yeah, and I asked Pack just just when it was us waiting for the matchup that we were expecting of Influx versus Frank yesterday. I said, do you have a preference? And he thought about it for a while because it's two really solid players. But he said, "Yeah, you know what? I want Influx to win just so I can try to take down the champ." So Pac Pac wants to be in this position and is in fact going to be out at a 408, so just a little bit behind Influx. But this is where he wants to be right now.
Yeah, now Packy getting into level 12 here. Yeah, I don't like this board. He doesn't have a much yellow access at the top, but it's weird because he's got a little bit of like a horizontal yellow staircase that loops around and goes back up. There's just so many horizontal yellow opportunities for him. The issue is just getting down to them and making them work. Probably going to see him take a cross clear here. He does, drops down the yellow, and once he gets this blues, it's not going to be garbage anymore. Drops down, is now useful in a place where he can clear out a virus. But Influx now down to 22, now 19 viruses. Again, just really trying to storm ahead here. But Packy, he's not going to go down easy.
No, that's definitely the case. And with a 15 virus deficit here, now down to 12, I mean, it's gonna be tough, but this is definitely not insurmountable. As we saw in previous games, it really only takes one really good or really bad level to change the momentum of an entire game, or an entire match even. So going to be interesting to see what either player is able to do as we approach level 13. Influx will be there as soon as he gets this red down out at a 549. Pack is going to need to scoot on along to catch up with him, but should not be too long getting there himself.
Yeah, and both of these players putting together some really nice horizontals to get down to the bottom of the board. It's been really, really fantastic watching these two play, plan out their in games, excuse me, and just use all of the pills to the best of their ability, to the best of their efficiency. And we're singing on both sides, and it's the reason that both of these guys have made it to the semifinals here today. Looking over at Influx's board as Packy gets out at a 628. 33 viruses remaining for him, a huge lead over Packy, but a lot of yellow in the center of this board. And I like the decision that he's made here. Gonna go try and get these yellows on the center horizontally, and with those two double blues, it's going to do exactly that, and leaves almost no garbage on his board, just a little bit there in his column 4, but he gets that cleared out pretty quick.
Yeah, and Pack's board has not been bad. It's just not really what he needed to make up this deficit. Everything is kind of clustered together. His blues are all together. His reds are all together. Great combo there. And anything that's not a double, really, he's having trouble finding placements for it. But he is back within 17, so it's about where he was close to the end of the last level. So, uh, yeah, it's going to be very difficult with the writing pretty much on the wall here, but we do see influx down to about 3 viruses left. Not just about, exactly 3 viruses, as he's going to have to get some reds. There's really no way around this one.
Yeah, and gotta think he's probably gonna go for the horizontal here because it's only gonna allow him to need one more yellow. There it is, 807 for Influx. He does take game 3 and put himself in a position to win the whole match with a win in the next game.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, Pat going to go ahead and I thought that was, no, that was just really good, good quality setups there. Pat going to, looks like finish this one out. Depends on, yeah, depends on what he's getting next. But, he's got to be thinking it's close to 9 minutes and it's in flocks. I'm probably already behind, but finishes it out at an 8:51. GG's.
That was really nice planning on Packy's part on those blues on the left, by the way, because he saw that if he got the horizontal that was below it, it was going to drop down. So putting the blue one above where the virus was a really, really nice heads up play by Packy and put him in a position to get that horizontal blue just a little bit earlier.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we're going into game 4. Packy will force a decider with a win. Influx will win it and go on to the finals with a win. Everything kind of on the line here. So we do have our readies, and it is 3, 2, 1, and pills.
I love how the L of low is cut off and it just says ow. That's what I'd be saying if I accidentally picked low speed. Actually, I might be saying something worse than that. But anyway, here in this game 4, we have Packy down 1 game to Influx's 2, and Packy with a lot of red or yellow and blue on the top of this board. Fortunately, though, he's getting those yellows and blues to make some pretty good progress on this board. Now it is predominantly red and blue that he's going to have to be working through. Um, 25 viruses for Influx, 28 for Packy. Um, Influx taking some drop time there. Again, it's not something that he really likes to do, but I think there it was the best choice, Ook.
Yeah, I mean, these are horrendous boards. There's just looking at, I was looking at packs earlier and I was like, that's not a good board. And then I look over and see what Influx is looking at, and I go, oh, okay, yeah, this is actually worse. So, gonna be an interesting setup for Influx here. He's he's got to set up.
Ooh,
Oh,
it's
and
the
this
double
double blue
blue.
is gonna set it. So the entire left side of his board goes away, and he is down to 8. Packy down to 9. These two just neck and neck, as we like to say it. Um, I think Pack gonna go for this D sandwich. It's not really a D sandwich, but it's close to it. And now has to decide, what does he need more, reds or yellows? Oh, and he makes the wrong call, as it is reds. Influx going to be out with this double red, out at a 144. Packy out at a 146. So pretty much all tied up here. And not great, but not terrible boards for either player at the top of level 11.
Yeah, wondering if Packy's gonna go for this horizontal blue. Oh, and he gets it, and he gets exactly what he needs for it. Really fortuitous RNG there for Packy. Now, though, zero access to blue whatsoever. So he's going to be creating strategic garbage and trying to use those blues as best as the way he can. Yep, I love the decision there to go ahead and get the red horizontally. Still no blue access, though. Trying to get down to some. Maybe we'll consider opening up those blues in columns 2 or column 4. He does open the ones up in column 4, and now his board looking a little bit better. Um, kind of split though, honestly.
Yeah, and Influx, well, he's frozen up, but it was not looking great for him. But he did manage to get a massive combo to take a 6 virus lead here. It took some time, and sometimes we've seen him have to pay for that. This time, though, everything worked out real well for him, as Influx holding on to a slight virus lead now here against Packy.
Yeah, and both players really going to need a lot of yellow to clear out the rest of this board. See if Packy goes for the. Oh, he doesn't go for the horizontal or the vertical clear, excuse me, in column 4. I thought he might go for that to open up the red access, but he does get it open either way. Packy needing red, Influx needing a yellow. It is Influx out at a 333, Packy out at a 335. A 2-second game here as we move into our penultimate level.
Yeah, this is about as close as it can possibly be. As Pack not a lot of access to yellow on his top line, just that pair over on the left hand side, and he cannot get them cleared out to save his life. Getting a lot of yellow virus or pill halves now finally gets things worked down, and that is really been a struggle here at the top of this level 12. Influx not running into nearly as many problems, and has kept his board down a little bit further.
Yeah.
But big combos there from Packy that is going to keep him with a 4 virus lead.
Yeah, and well, now which is a 1 virus or 2 virus lead now for Influx, as he had a pretty big combo of his own there on the center of the board. Now, the thing about Influx's board there is there's not a lot of stuff on the right. They are very compact, and he does have a lot of double opportunities. Ooh, not sure about that blue yellow in 6 and 7. Um, I think he's trying to go for the horizontal yellows in his second row to drop down those blues. Now he would really love to have a double yellow, get that offset fat log and really drop some things down. But he does get the top horizontal a different way. Um, I don't know. I don't really love this in game for Influx.
Well, Pack had a really good in-game setup, but unfortunately it depended on getting reds, and he just was not getting them. But now he is down to needing a lot of yellow and a couple of reds. We're going to see how that's going to work out for him. Influx just needing yellows and now one more red. He's going to be out first at a 535, holding on to this lead, as Packy, uh, just fighting this end game, is going to need 2 more reds, and he will be joining Influx at a 553.
Yeah, about 18 seconds here behind for Packy. But a fairly diverse starting line for this board. Looking kind of good for him. And as I look down the board, I'm seeing a lot of horizontals, a lot of double opportunities for him. As long as he can get through the kind of weird start here at the beginning of the board, he could have a really nice chance to get caught back up here as Influx gonna need a lot of red and a lot of blue to get down to the end game.
Yeah, Influx, though, finding ways to get his column 8 work down, that was going to be an issue for him. Does flip this. I'm gonna call that a misdrop on 1-2. I could be proven wrong later, but the way he is stacking on top of it, I'm gonna suggest that it is not incorrect. So that's gonna be a small thing he's gonna have to work his way through. But right now, firmly in the driver's seat, with a 5 virus advantage here late in game number or in level number 13, as does get everything just about cleared out of the way. Gonna have a solid end game here is Influx.
Yeah,
Packy, meanwhile, just at 15. Yes.
it looks pretty good for Influx at this point. Just needing to get column one cleared out and a stoplight, unfortunately for him. Oh, he's gonna set up for the log out, and he the little stinker. He's gonna get it out at a 729.
All right.
Swagging
And
out, taking the win.
so GG's to both players with that. It is going to be Influx going for a fourth finals in the in this tournament, as he is our 3-time defending champion. Gonna see if he can do it again against Adelito. The matchup that I would say a lot of us saw coming, but Pack out at an 803, better than his average. He will end the season with a record of 13 and 11. GG's to him on a great season, and good luck to Influx in the next round.